Now, people don't like this. They think, oh, stock is being political. No, follow the money. Whenever there is a controversy, if people on the right feel like it's hurting people on the left because they're sad or offended, they're going to do the own the libs and they're going to spend more goddamn money. It happens every fucking time. It happens every fucking time. When there is a boycott by the right, the company loses money. When there's a boycott by the left, the company makes money. You don't like it, but it's true. I'm sorry. This isn't a political thing. This isn't, you get your emotions out of money. It is what it is. Companies do something similar, right? Like, think about Peloton. Peloton, you guys that have been here a long time, you know the story. We made an unbelievable amount of money on Peloton after COVID. And it was because of one thing, that fucking commercial, that one commercial. For those of you guys who don't remember, Christmas 2019, okay? Christmas 2019. Look at this. So Peloton did this commercial in 2019.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Now.
Let's do this. 5 days in a row. You surprised? Totally worth it.
Let's go, Grace in Boston. 50 rides.
She just said my name. Thank you.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
This was Peloton's commercial. And it went absolutely nuts. Everyone said she looked like she was a hostage. Like I'm so excited, right? Like, it looked like, and basically people were like, wait a second. This woman was in shape and her husband gave her a Peloton for Christmas. Like, why would you give your wife an exercise bike for Christmas? Like, is this supporting eating disorders or messing with? So many people got pissed off. So many people got pissed off. They lost their fucking mind. They lost their minds. And this went absolutely parabolically viral online. It was, she looks like a hostage, or, oh my God, you know, people that were like, oh my God, he's fat shaming, or this is body dysmorphia, or this is like whatever. And people were like, she looks like a hostage. But it got hundreds and hundreds of millions of views everywhere. Now, that's what you want. Why do you, even if it was an accident, Peloton didn't do it on purpose, but why do you want that? It's the same reason Andrew Tate, Grant Cardone, and all of those put out the fucking craziest shit in the world. We've talked about it before. It's called a sales funnel. Put out something crazy that gets views. All right? You can say some egregious stuff. You could say some controversial stuff. You could say whatever, but it's called a sales funnel. Why? Because let's say Andrew Tate, remember Grant Cardone said, if you're not making at least $400,000 a year, you're a loser. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact words. Or you're not a real man, right? If you're not making $400,000 a year, whatever it was. That went viral. Well, here's the thing. You want that. Why? Because here's your sales funnel. Let's say it gets seen 100 million times. 99% of people who watch it can think you're a piece of shit and you've lost nothing. Because 99 million people had no idea who you were before. They think you're a piece of shit. You've literally lost nothing. These are people who didn't know you, who now know you, who weren't buying your shit, who still aren't buying your shit. But 1% say, damn, really? Yeah, and I can help you get there. Really? Let me check it out. That's 1 million people. You get 1 million people to click on your shit. They think it's interesting. You got a hook in there, but then they find out they got to pay $600 or $100 a month or whatever. 99% of those people click off or click out. That's still 10,000. 10,000 people pay you $600. You just made $6 million bucks. 99% of people who saw it hate you. 99% of the people who stuck around think you're you're overpriced fucking hack. Make $6 million. $6 million to tell people that they're losers or they are stupid or that they just need to get good. Flood the market with people doing the exact same shit and then convince them to network with those same people so they work hard and then they use them to blame themselves for why it didn't work out. Now, this is the low end. And we call that a sales funnel. That's why people who want to sell things always want to go viral. Whether you're selling a course, which is the big money, you're selling your speeches, you're selling whatever. I'm selling myself, okay? Not my ass behind a gas station, okay? That's if my viewership dips under 1,500. But I have to sell my stream because I need viewers to have a show. And even though I don't do really good at monetizing it, I still do make money from my show. So I need to get out there. Now, I don't do a very good job of going viral for a few reasons. One, my audience is a little bit older, so they're not sitting around here waiting for me to say something crazy and then post it on some fucking thing, right? It's not how it is. Also, I can't afford clippers because I have people that want to be my clippers, but they charge too much. But I have an editor, I have a couple editors. Will has done an okay job sometimes, and it gets out there and it brings a couple viewers in. I've got a new editor we're trying on YouTube, trying to do long form videos again. It looks like it's doing okay for now. You got to try to do that, right? You want to get out there because you need to bring people. It's a sales funnel. I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling a product. I'm selling myself, right? I'm selling my show. And even not even to the individual, right? If that individual watches ads, I make a little money. If they subscribe, I make a little money. But if there's enough viewers, then advertisers want to invest, you know, so it all works out in a way. It's a sales funnel. Peloton. And so that's why you see people like Andrew Tate, Grant Cardone, all these people who sell something say the most crazy shit. They don't believe the shit they say. They're saying it to get attention, to get views, because it's a sales funnel. They got to capture people in that sales funnel. Peloton did it by accident. And this is why we made so much goddamn money on them. Peloton had a commercial. We just watched the commercial. It got clowned on. You had hundreds of millions of people that thought it was funny, it was depressing, it was offensive, it was misogynistic, it was whatever. Doesn't matter. Hundreds of millions of views. We call that earned media. Basically, impressions you get you didn't pay for. You pay for an advertisement, you're expecting a certain amount of views on average, and it goes viral and you get way more. That's earned media. Peloton basically would have had to pay billions of dollars for organic views, totaling the same. They saved billions of dollars. They didn't have to spend all that money to push it in front of people. They got that for free. Now, why was that a big deal? Because little did they know, they struck gold twice. Once, they had something that went viral, and even if 99% of people hated it, everyone knew about it. Guess what happened next? Well, guess what? You're not going to the gym anymore, motherfuckers. Also, you're laid off from work. You could play video games, whatever like that. You have time to work out. You have time to get in shape. A lot of y'all were already working out every day, and you want to stay that way, but you can't go to the gym. What are you going to do? You could buy a home gym. You could do all that. Guess what? What about that Peloton thing? I mean, that, you know, I could bike, and then there's like their trainer and other people on the screen, and like I could, like, you know, it kind of like gives me that same kind of feeling. Nobody fucking knew what a Peloton was before that commercial. 99.9% of the world's population had no idea what a Peloton was. And now they did, for good reasons, bad reasons, whatever. So we, in this little community, had a thought around April, May, June of 2020. We started noticing that people were running. Sneaker sales were hitting a high thing. And we thought, if people are running, why not biking as cardio? But because people aren't going out as much because they're afraid of getting sick and all this other shit, they're going to work out at home. And everybody found out about this fucking Peloton thing. And if 99% of them thought it was stupid, there's millions of people out there. So we bought into it. This shit went I sold way too early. I think I sold it like $60. I think this thing went from like $1 to like up to 100 and something, like 10,000% or whatever. So that's why companies want to go viral. Now, they want to go viral for a good reason, but you're less likely to go viral for a good reason than a controversial reason. It doesn't have to be, you know, you dropped a fucking racial slur in front of children, but it could be like, you know, Dr. Pepper and what is it? The Nathans are getting a Dr. Pepper flavored ketchup, or sorry, with Heinz, Dr. Flavor Pepper ketchup, or Dr. Flavor Pepper, you know, hot dog and shit like that. Like, they're trying to do something viral. Doesn't always work. Look at this. Don't sue me. I'm going to say allegedly, or I think. I'm pretty goddamn sure that they knew exactly what the fuck they were doing when they wrote that line in there. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing when they wrote that line about jeans. They knew it. They knew goddamn well exactly what was going to happen. That was fucking marketing. When that shit went down and the next week everyone lost their mind on it, the fucking advertising marketing people were fucking paying for hookers and blow off each other's dicks. They knew exactly what they were doing, or their tits, whatever you're into. I don't care. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing, and they did it in a way where they knew there was going to be public crazy outcry and outrage, but they also knew they had plausible deniability because no, we are a jeans company. They knew what they were doing, and they also knew what we talked about before. Now, people don't like this. They think, oh, stock is being political. No, follow the money. Whenever there is a controversy, if people on the right feel like it's hurting people on the left because they're sad or offended, they're going to do the own the libs, and they're going to spend more goddamn money. It happens every fucking time. It happens every fucking time. When there is a boycott by the right, the company loses money. When there's a boycott by the left, the company makes money. You don't like it, but it's true. I'm sorry. This isn't a political thing. This isn't, you get your emotions out of money. It is what it is. Is it because people on the right are fucking have more money? Not necessarily. Is it because they're more cult-like? Probably. This isn't a controversial statement. If you look at companies and money flow, stock valuation, sales and revenue, people on the right just tend to speak more with their money, or they just are able to. They're less fractured maybe, and they're able to do it. It's true. It's true. It's not. This isn't like me having some kind of take. This is what happens. And so by doing something that gets people on the left upset, whether you want to say that they overreacted or they were absolutely on point because this was actually a targeted racial thing. I'm not disagreeing with your thoughts on it. That's up to you. But knowing that this is going to cause a controversy like this, you know that a bunch of people on this side of the aisle are going to go in and buy shit just to own the libs. But more importantly, it's a sales funnel because hundreds of millions of people are going to remember that American Eagle still exists. That's not always true. There's examples of the woke go broke going the opposite way. Zillan, you just admitted to me that you have to cling on to an emotion here. Sir, out of the last 100 times, there were actually 2 times that it didn't work out. Okay, bro. We're not talking about your feelings. We're talking about the generalized where you put your money how you under. We have made money off of this. This isn't like I'm glad to see it happening. This isn't me endorsing this. I'm explaining how money works. I'm saying that it's not always true. Would you say that the majority of the time it's true? How could Bud Light go to the left then knowing they would lose money? You think the people at Budweiser thought to themselves, this is going to work out well for us? Or we think that... No. First off, just so you know about the Budweiser thing, this wasn't Budweiser rolling out that to all their cans. They were partnering with this individual person to make a specific limited edition can for them. I don't think Budweiser in their wildest dreams thought that this was going to get picked up the way it did. I would say if Budweiser went back, they probably would have not made that same decision. So again, when I bring these things up, because it's not your guys' fault, okay? I'm not like mad at you. I understand that we're in a very, very politically charged, very divided, very tribal time in our right now. So if I bring anything up like this, people are automatically going to feel the need to defend their side, or, you know, this isn't a side thing. This is a money thing. Money doesn't care about that. Just like I said, why is it that this community was able to predict the outcome of almost every major international event and war and conflict and everything like that over the past 3 years, and the political streamers were fucking wrong most of the time? Because we follow the money. Money, you follow the money. It tells you what. You separate your emotions. You can't predict something based on, oh, well, because of this or how these people feel or what I think or what I've been told. No. You follow the money. Buy the dip in April in the stock market. Ports aren't going to empty. Shelves aren't going to empty. Israel-Iran is not gonna escalate further. Pakistan, these things, a lot of people were like, oh, this is gonna happen, this is that. It's like, no, let's just follow the money. Understand how the economies work and how the money works. People care more about money than they care about their fucking God. I'm sorry, it's the truth. But that's not true. My grandma's an evangelical, devout Catholic, and she'll give up all her money to the church. She doesn't care about money. Okay, we're not talking about granny. And I don't mean care about money as in like because you're greedy all the time, because you got to pay bills sometimes, right? Like, are you supposed to rest on the Sabbath? Yes. Are you a Christian and you work on Sundays? Yes. Are you breaking your religion for money? Yes. But it's because you got bills to pay. It doesn't mean you're greedy, right? People care about money. Well, not people, but like societies. They care about everything. Leads back to money. Okay. So they knew what the fuck they were doing. Okay. But think about major things that we've talked about recently. Look at Target, Cracker Barrel. Just 2 recent examples. This doesn't mean I like it, but these are companies, or in Budweiser, okay? These are companies that did something that motivated, I don't want to say the right because it's just like grouping everybody into it, but more conservative people to boycott. I want you to see what's happened to them since then. Now, Target, we bought the dip because we knew that motherfuckers were still going to buy at Target, and it made a nice bounce, but it's all the way down since then. Cracker Barrel, dumped. Then they reversed their decision. We bought the dip on that too. Budweiser still hasn't recovered. This isn't, remember, before you guys start getting all type of, this isn't, I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm just telling you where the money works. Now look at the opposite. American Eagle's a recent one. Own the libs. If you think I'm wrong, look at what happens with GoFundMe. Now, I'm not saying that makes them some kind of superior thing, right? There's times when there was a woman who lost her job because she was on video calling a small black kid the N-word in a park. She lost her job. She raised $1 million on a GoFundMe. Didn't say it's always for a good reason. But this is how money flows. And when you understand that, it kind of helps you understand how these things work. Now, I'm not saying everybody on the right is those people. I'm not saying everybody on the left is out there trying to fucking, murder the president. There are extremists and there are extreme groups and stuff like that. But at the same time, this is how it works in corporations. Think about it this. Who makes more money as a content creator? People who cater to the left or to the right? Again, I'm not even going to look at chat because I know some of y'all just cannot separate what I'm talking about from your personal fucking emotions. I'm not trying to dunk on anybody. I'm just talking money. People who grift, whatever, to the right, content creators, generally make more money. Now, obviously, the further left your content is, the further right, the less you make from like advertisers and stuff like that. but they make more money. Both of these guys drive their content through fear that the left is going to destroy our way of life and destroy America and turn us into a socialist fucking Sharia law, whatever. And the left is telling you how the right is going to put everybody who's gay and black in a camp and gas them to death. Okay. That's how you get your views, but they make more money. It doesn't mean people on the right necessarily are richer. It doesn't mean that they are whatever. It's just that people that generally are on the right as a whole are more likely to spend money or organize together to get money, even if it's a lot of people giving a little to a cause, than people on the left. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means that people on the left aren't fucking stupid sheep brain cultists. Whatever you want to take from this is your own thing, but this is how it works. You can give me an off example of, well, that's not true. This one thing happened one time. And no, there was a country music star who got on stage and fucking dropped the N-bomb. He's like the #1 artist now because people on the left, rightfully so, were outraged about it. And people on the right, even people who don't even care or whatever, are like, you know what? I don't care about that guy and whatever like that. Any chance I get to own the libs. I'm not trying to paint everyone on the right as a racist. I'm just using these examples of things that other people would think are absolutely insane. But there's times when progressive or left-leaning or whatever things happened that the right boycotted instead of the left, and the majority of the time it actually has a net negative effect on the company because you don't see people on the left move to that, use their money or their dollars to counter that the same way. And this has nothing to do with who has more money or who's doing whatever like that. Because let me tell you something. If you think everybody on the right has money, everybody on the left is poor, the largest recipient of government welfare and SNAP benefits are people that vote right. Yeah, there's more people, so it obviously skews it. But go to West Virginia, go to go to Mississippi, go to Alabama, go to Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana, West Virginia. So this isn't about who has more money. Okay, this is just about how that money is spent. So, and for the one guy who says, why don't you have sensitive tags on here? I'm talking about facts. I'm talking about empirical data. This isn't my opinion. It's not my opinion that boycotts from the right to the left do more net outflow to a company than the left boycotting the right for companies. Just go look at it. I'm not talking about localized. I'm talking about national level. It's just what it is. I didn't say it's a good thing. It just is what it is. Yeah, it's my opinion that American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney knew what the fuck they were doing exactly when they wrote that line. That's my opinion. But this happened. There was outrage. There was outrage. It happened. And what did we do? We took this. I even did a whole video. I have a YouTube video out there 2 weeks before American Eagle's earnings, telling you why I was taking that through earnings. And it exploded through earnings. Their sales were through the roof. It wasn't like, haha, own the libs. It's because that's what happens. Again, you can be upset that something is the way it is, but it doesn't change that it is what it is. That's the whole point of my conversation here. The crazy thing too is that a lot of times the things that are done on the left that cause all that outright are usually by an outlier or some like small part of their community. But I think on the right, they'll all condemn the small person. But in this, a lot of the times over here, they're going to like not do and say like, well, they don't speak for all of us, but we're going to support them. And I think that causes some of that online bullshit. But that's what we are. That's why people want to go viral. Even if it's for a negative reason nowadays. People want to go viral. I'll give you an example. There was a video of a woman who worked, she was a black woman. She had kids, and she was working 3 jobs. Burger King, and she was manager of Burger King, and she worked for that. Then she had to work another thing, and she was living in like a motel or something like that, barely getting by. This woman fucking busting her ass to support those kids and do everything she could. She was sleeping a couple hours a night, whatever like that. Burger King ended up firing her. Story went viral. There was like $80,000 that was raised for this woman. There's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Woman drops the N-bomb in a park at a kid, loses her job, $1 million. Again, this example is going to just turned a lot of y'all's worlds around. Y'all thought I was fucking like going full MAGA and like Stocky's just trying to shit on the left. He's showing his true colors. No, there you go. Now, I'm not saying that everybody on the right is fucking racist, but less people give a lot more. Let's say 5% of people over here either support that or indifferent or just want to own the libs. They're gonna do it with their money. You know what I mean? People over here see that, they feel bad, they feel terrible like that, but they're less likely to do that to support that lady, right? You see what I mean? It's just a weird dynamic there. And it's probably because this is a whole the message for a lot of people over here is people on the left, extreme left people, are gonna Sharia law, and it's true, man. It's true. A lot of that rhetoric is that way. It's just as bad over here when it's everyone on the right is a fucking Nazi, fascist, fucking, they wanna kill everybody who's gay and fucking convert everybody and turn wives into fucking, put them in their breeding farms and shit like that and make them cook and clean and barefoot and all that. I get it, right? Like it is. I'm not gonna get into all that because everybody's got their own opinion, but you got to follow the money. You might be right, but these are anecdotes that aren't terribly convincing. I think you may even likely be correct, to be honest, but I'd love to be more convinced by your point. Well, I'm not here to convince you individually, so that's also good. This last part is me talking about individual things, and that is anecdotally. You're absolutely correct. But what we started out here, talking about Target, Budweiser, Cracker Barrel, even Pepsi, that's not anecdotal. I'm talking about from an economic standpoint. Why am I telling you about this? Because you know how to buy the dip or how to take calls. It's just a tool in your tool bag. I'm talking from a stock and an investment and a corporate standpoint. I'm not talking about raising money for elections. I'm not talking about, all that. I used that last part there with the whole 2 GoFundMes to kind of shut some of the fucking hippies up in chat right now. He's making this up to support his MAGA things. There you go. Shut the fuck up. Now what are you going to do? Oh shit, now I can't say anything. Sit down, little bros. But yeah, no, this is interesting. And I hate using the word left and right because we're not left and right anymore. We think of it because we've forced ourselves into a 2-party voting system. We're not left and right anymore. We look like this, you know what I mean? Like some fucking like ditto before it turns into something you want to fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at. I mean, you've got your people like you got people all the way over here and people up here and people down here and here and here. Everybody's everywhere. But we like the idea of teams. We like the idea of knowing who our enemy is and who our ally is, and everyone has to be on a side and has to align at a certain point because we're humans. And humans psychologically, we love to find patterns. We love to find things that connect. We like to make things make sense. We don't like the idea of, oh, you're a fence sitter. You're in the gray area. You can't be that way. You got to pick a side. No, bitch. You're brainwashed if you pick a side. Because number one, there are no sides. And number two, why would you want to be in a place where you can't criticize who is in your circle because that means the other side will win? And you can't give, credit to somebody who may not be in your circle for something they did good because then it'll look like you don't support your little team. Like, what the fuck?